When it comes to beating the deity AI, industry and production is an incredibly important thing that you've got to take into advantage and consideration. When it comes to building wonders, building armies, and generally getting the districts down, as much production as you can get will help. And there are two policy cards that will really work towards just getting you that victory. First is the Craftsman card in Guilds, which is in the medieval era. It's simple, it gives you plus 100% industrial zone adjacency bonuses. Later on in the game, in the modern era, you've got Ideology, which gives you the 5-year plan. Essentially replacing the last card, it gives you plus 100% in both campuses and industrial zones. So why, might you ask, are those cards so important? Because doubling industry is a good thing, but it doesn't really make much difference. Well, in order to have a look at that, we need to dive into the industrial zone a little bit further. The industrial zone is one of the main ways to get production in your city, if you utilise it well. And you basically have to look at the adjacency bonuses in full to get yourself a real understanding of how to get this thing going. It is another district that has minor adjacency bonuses, this time from adjacent mines and adjacent lumber mills. Don't forget, for a minor adjacency to work, it needs 2 of each. So if I have 2 adjacent mines, I would get plus 1 production. If I have 3 adjacent mines, it rounds down, and I still only have 1 production. If I had 1 mine and 1 lumber mill, they don't stack. I have to have 2 of a certain one. So 4 mines and 2 lumber mills, for instance, would give me plus 3. Districts are also a way to get minor adjacencies, like a lot of other districts in this game. Standard adjacencies are plenty as well for the industrial zone. These are things that give you plus 1 production for each thing surrounding it. Strategic resources, just the presence of a strategic resource will give you that plus 1 production, and that actually stacks with the mine that normally gets put on top of strategic production. So if, for instance, I had 2 coals surrounding an industrial zone, it would have plus 1, plus 2. And if I had a mine on each one, it would have plus 3. I also get a standard adjacency from having a government plaza next to it, as well as a quarry. Quarries you should keep an eye on, because quarries are different to mines. They're for stone and gypsum primarily, as well as marble. That's another good example of something that is a quarry. Things like iron, coal, copper, gold, and silver are all mines, as opposed to quarries. Finally, there are some major adjacency bonuses, and these are the things you've got to keep an eye out for. They are the green tiles, the green districts, those that you can build in your cities regardless of how many districts you've got in your cities. The aqueduct, the canal, and the dam. Each one of those provides plus 2 major adjacency in addition to the district adjacency minor adjacency. So, for instance, if an industrial zone had an aqueduct and a canal next to it, it would have plus 2, plus 4, and then another plus 1 from the 2 districts for a total of plus 5. But here you're thinking, even if I got a plus 5 bonus, the policy card would only give me another plus 5 production. That's not really worth it. Well, that's where you're wrong, because it's all to do with this building, the coal power plant. Unlocked in industrialization in the industrial era, it provides a bonus production equal to the adjacency production bonus of the district. That includes any multiplication through the Craftsman or the 5-year plan Civic cards. So in my example, if I had a plus 5 industrial zone, it would be doubled using the Civic cards to plus 10, which would mean the coal power plant would give plus 10 for building it, which means my industrial zone gives me plus 20. So in essence, an industrial zone with a coal power plant on it is worth 4 times, when using the Civic card, the actual written adjacency bonus. Now that sort of multiplication makes a huge difference very, very quickly. Don't forget as well, in order to get to the coal power plant, you need to have a workshop and a factory going. The workshop gives your city 3 production, and the factory gives another 3 production, boosted to 6 if it's powered, which, if you've got coal, it probably will be. So the simple multiplication for an industrial zone is that it will give you production equal to the adjacency of the district times by 4, plus an additional 6, or 9 if it's powered. So an industrial zone that has plus 5 would give me 20 plus 6 for 26 production, or 29 production if it's powered. Now, more so than any other district, industrial zones really pay off if you have a good think about using map pins. Map pins are your friend here. Map tacks, map pins, whatever you want to call them really. The best way to start as well is with aqueducts. We're playing as Rome, so today these are baths, but essentially they're the same thing. Now normally, you don't want to put your cities too close together. If you pack them in too tightly, you're not going to have enough space to put districts down, you're not going to have enough space to improve the tiles around them. There's a huge amount to be said in deity play to have enough worked tiles giving you improvements for production and food. Farms, especially in lovely little triangles, can give you huge food, and lumber mills and mines late game can provide an insane amount of production. 10 worked mines, for instance, in a city will be giving you 6 production each, which is 60 production. That way outweighs an industrial zone, so it's never worth neglecting that. But for this planning, squeezing our districts together isn't a bad thing. By settling a city here and putting an aqueduct over to the river, and also by putting an aqueduct across the river here, I can create a situation where I can put 2 industrial zones down, 1, 2. Now, this is what I like to call the industrial zone diamond. I had to think very hard and carefully for that word. I was going to call it a double triangle. No, it's a diamond. You're looking for the industrial zone diamond. By connecting up 2 aqueducts, both that have adjacency to the industrial zones here, I've created on this industrial zone +2, +4, because you get major adjacency of +2 for the aqueducts, as well as another +1 for the proximity of the districts. That's a +5. Using my multiplication, times it by 4, gives it 20 production, +6 for the factory, gives it 26, or 29 if it's powered. 29 production, in Rome for instance, would more than double how much production it's already making just from 10 population working these tiles. It's a big city, so it makes a huge difference on industry. This industrial zone is even better because not only has it got the +2, +4, +5, but there's also oil here, strategic resource, which gives it another +1 to make it into +6. Using my same maths, 6 times 4 gives to 24, +6 is 30, or even +3 if powered gives 33 production. That's a lot. Even better, I actually have floodplains here, which means I can put another district down, the dam. Dams are slightly harder to build because they must be built on floodplains, but by putting that district down, I've made this industrial zone even better. Now it's a +2, +4, +6, +7 for the oil, +8, +9 for the districts. Using my multiplication, 9 times 4 is 36, +6 is 42, 45 if powered because you get the additional +3. 45 production would it would triple my production. So let's get to work. We're going to have the 5-year plan, but the craftsman policy card works just as well here. As long as you have the +100% industrial zone, this strategy works perfectly. I'm also sticking expropriation and public works just to get my cities going a little bit. More settlers and more builders are always lovely. I'm going to be putting drill manuals in so I can get more coal because we were burning a lot of coal to keep our cities powered. Diplomatic League will help us to make suzerainship of the city-states we meet, as well as Visselbank and then trading with them to give +2 food and +2 production, stacking with the +4 food and +4 production from democracy, and we'll be sticking invention on in order to give us great engineer points for every workshop, as well as science foundations to give us great engineer points for every factory and every power plant. These 2 cards, by the way, are insane when you stack them with industrial zones, which you should be having at least 1 industrial zone per city if you're going for an industry-based game. An industrial zone itself has 3 buildings. It has the workshop, the factory, and the power plant. These 2 cards will give me 2 points, 2 points, and 4 points for 8 extra engineer points on top of the points the industry of the city actually gives as well. So it's pretty powerful. By shifting the city over to here, actually, what I can do is create a scenario where I put a city on this desert tile, an aqueduct over here, as well as potentially sticking a city down on this tile below to the south. We've got some amazing tiles being built here. So here's my second city, already down, and we start to just flesh out our empire plan a little bit by sticking down onto the tiles. Don't forget you can get rid of your pins once you've built the districts because they're not going anywhere. So I just remembered that a dam has to be built with 2 edges of the hex along the river, and this is only 1. But that's okay. What we're going to do is we're going to switch this to a government plaza, which is still an amazing building. We're going to put the dam on this tile instead. And I'm going to stick another city here with an industrial zone on this tile. So we're creating some fantastic adjacency bonuses, even if it wasn't exactly the plan we had to start with. So using democracy, I have a lovely trade route to a city-state. I'll be employing that, and you can see already we've got a +5 adjacency district just purely from all of these surrounding things. Lovely +6 over here as well. But we are not even started yet. Don't forget as well, if you build an industrial zone starting with production bonus of 4 or higher, you get the era score for building a fantastic industrial zone. Third city goes down, like so, and we can immediately build the bath over to this tile, as well as popping the industrial zone, once I've swapped the tile through, onto this tile. It says +3 at the moment, but that won't last. And with my 4th city down here, you can see I can already put an industrial zone onto this tile, which is a lovely +5. So you can see already we've got a nice +5 industrial zone, a +6, a +6, and a +8. And there's room for improvement on most of them actually. You can see this +6 can't really get improved any further because there's no way of getting another 2 districts around it. Even if I put something on this tile, this one is blocked by a luxury resource. So +6 is about as good as we're going to get on that one. This one, however, is a +6. You can see there's 1, 2 districts around it. Again, once this gets improved, this should go to a +7, but there's nothing we can really do on this tile that's going to improve it. This industrial zone is a +5. You can see that's because we've got 1, 2, and then the districts. When this commercial hub is completed, that'll become a +6, and if we build something, the sugar's blocking it again. So realistically, +6 is as good as we're going to get. So you can see this city has 63 production. It's got a bunch of things providing it, 27 from work tiles. You can see we've got an amenity bonus for the city being happy, as well as outgoing trade routes, but I'm on 16 production from my industrial zone. That's 8 plus 8 is 16. You can see buildings as well. I'm getting the factory, I'm getting the workshop. So it's currently giving 22 production. So when I build the coal power plant, you can see this plus 18 production is pretty powerful. Always worth building coal power plants. I don't think it even needs to be powered in order for it to work. Although, obviously if it's not powered, it's not providing electricity to other buildings. Shows you the difference here. Oil power plants give a +3 production. But again, +14 production on the coal power plant because it's double what the industrial zone is kicking out. Very nice. You can see here with the completion of the coal power plant, I'm now on 97 production, of which 16 is coming from the industrial zone and 33 is coming from buildings. We ignore the watermill and the palace, which is giving +3 of that. 30 production, of which 3 is from the workshop, 9 is from a factory, and 18 is from a coal power plant. So all in all, my industrial zone is giving me 46 production. I should point out as well that Magnus is skewing this a little bit because he's applying multiple factory bonuses. Anywhere with a factory within the perimeter, he's obtaining the production bonuses for. So we remove 6 of that. It gives 40 production. We do our maths. 8 times 4 is 32, plus 6 is 38. And it's giving me a little bit more because it's feeling nice. But you can just see the production it gives. Stock exchange being built in 3 turns. That's nice. That's really, really nice. Although, to be fair, I'm going to treat myself to a nice +4 campus because don't forget, +4 is the holy number on campuses. And whilst you want to leave yourself a little bit of space, again, you're always looking for these industrial triangles and diamonds, shapes. So I've got a city here, bath, or aqueduct, and then again I'm surrounded these industrial zones with lovely green districts as well as having 2 strategics next to them, which give me even more adjacency. Each one, in theory, should have +6, +2, +2, +1, +1, and the same with this one, +2, +2, +1, +1. Even better, you find the elusive 3-prong city setup. Looks a little bit like this. 3 cities, all within 4 tiles of each other, surrounded by a beautiful industrial zone in the middle, and aqueducts connecting from all directions. Difficult to find these on an actual map, but they do exist, so if you can find them, this already is a +2, +4, +6, +7 industrial zone, as well as having 2 more spaces to put the other industrial zones down to just really increase that bonus. So it's now a +2, 4, 6, 7, 8 adjacency. It's not bad really. Even better, because of the water adjacent to these 2 cities, I can actually build the other type of district, which is a canal. Again, canals also give that +2 bonus. I can also do one here. So you can go canal, and then canal to these lakes. Bodies of water can be incredibly handy. Sometimes you can find these really close floodplain complex river systems, which they appear on the map more than you'd think. But watch what you can do. By plonking a dam here on a separate river, and then an aqueduct here, Already I've made myself a +8 industrial zone. It's not bad really, especially not when I start adding districts, just to make it a little bit better. That is a perfect 2, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9 settlement. That's not bad really for an industrial zone. And there we go. As I put the bath down on that tile, I put an industrial zone on a +11. Yep, that's right, +11. You start to get a real sense of how big these zones can get. So we'll just have a quick gander. You can see this +6 is provided from +2, +4 major adjacencies, and then +5, +6 from minors. This is a +8, that's +2, +4 from major adjacencies. We've got +5, +6 from standard adjacencies, and then +7, +8 from districts. We've got a lovely +7, a lovely +6, +6, +8, and +11. This +11 is my favourite. We've got a canal, a bath, and a bath to provide 2, 4, 6, 8. And then we've got 3 minor adjacencies, 9, 10, 11, because we've got 6 districts surrounding it. This, when it's complete, is going to give us an insane amount of production. That's 11 times 4 gives 44, plus the 9 from the factory and the workshop gives 53 production in one industrial zone. That's not bad for a city that I built a few turns ago. And I think probably my favourite is a +8. I haven't even linked this one up to any other city. That is just raw production there. Especially because when it's not linked up, I can of course just sort of borrow districts from it, or tiles from it that are already improved. Suddenly look, that's a lovely +5 to that industrial zone as well. There we have it. We've got some insane industrial adjacencies. You take these tips and you'll find yourself beating Deity hands down with insane production. 114 in Rome. In fact, actually, you can see here, 114, 68, 53, 51, 45, 44, 41, 40, 38, 28, 25. Palmyra, with 25 production, I've only just built and doesn't have any buildings in it, and it's already got 25 production because that industrial zone is giving a lot. It's very good. If you ever needed to see the proof as well, 80 production from this 5-year plan card. That's just for raw production. That means my coal power plant's also giving me another 80 production. 160 production per turn. Just spare. Extra. That's a field cannon every 2 turns, without policy cards. I mean, you've got a bit. It's a good fun. This is a fun strategy. I really am. I just advise you try this one out, especially combined with commercial hubs. You can see I've got all of these trade routes. This is how to build tall. And finally, a very special shout out goes to Scott Stratton, Major King Kong, Matthew Wilkinson, and Salty Tech for all of your support on Patreon, as well as everybody else who's joining the community and making this place a fantastic space to be. Thank you guys, you keep me going.